Beautiful people, what the fuck is up? Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Sunday Sessions with Rich Podcast. This is episode 110. Yes, I said it. 110 freaking episodes that has been recorded. Thank you for being with this journey with me, guys. On today's episode, this guy, this is a special guest for me personally because this guy was on my fourth episode ever when I first started podcast, and that's fucking wild to say that. So it's been a good 106 episodes later. That just the fact I have that many episodes after that is fucking amazing. But this guy's a metaphysical student, financier, linguist, romance author, solo traveler, and he says he's supposedly the most interesting man in the world. I think he is personally. Kwasi, welcome back to the show, my guy.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on, Rich.
I gave you a mini red carpet, bro, but for those who don't know you, let us know who you are, what you got going on.
Yeah, thanks. So a lot has changed since then, but there's still a lot of things that are still going on in my life. So I'll start with the things that are still consistent. So I am a metaphysical student. I actually know Rich way back, it seems like. We were part of a group focused solely on metaphysical studies. And that's something that I continue to practice, whether it's meditation, attempting lucid dreaming, or as well as multidimensional travel. For those of you guys who do know about that, it's difficult to do, but once you start on the journey, it kind of feels like life exploring if you try to get off the path. So I stayed on it. Outside of that, I also am a solo traveler, continue to solo travel. I think since the last time we spoke, I've been to the Ukraine before the war.
Bro, we can talk about that.
And now I'm kind of living in Medellin right now for a few months. I was working in Wall Street, some complications, so I left Wall Street to come here to Medellin, which to me has been the best decision ever because I have my time. And yes, I'm still a romance author. I'm actually kind of brainstorming things right now, but I'm working on my second novel, which is going to be called Unconditional. So it's currently in the works.
Hey, you gave me a lot to work. You gave me a lot on the plate. So I'm gonna link the book, your first book, underneath the episode description. But damn, two things. Good, congrats on the second book. I haven't even dropped my first book, so I don't know like the process it goes into like writing books. So the fact that you working on your second one, kudos, bro. Freaking kudos. And then I didn't know you was in Ukraine. That's fucking interesting.
How was that? Man, I was in Ukraine. Ukraine was interesting. So I was in Ukraine back in September, so maybe 6-7 months before the Russia-Ukraine war actually started. It's beautiful out there. Wasn't many people, Black Americans out there that were just there to be there.
Yeah.
So it was a very interesting journey. I went, originally I had friends who were throwing a yacht party out there. And due to my work, I actually ended up missing them. And instead of canceling the trip, I decided I would just go on a solo trip. And that's typically what I do. So I just went out there for a few weeks, and it was amazing. In addition, I also ended up in Montenegro. So it was a great 2-country trip. So.
Man, you were saying it so casually, bro. Like that's freaking amazing. How long was that trip?
3 weeks. So I spent about.
No. I mean, like the commute. I mean, the travel, get out there.
Oh, to get out there wasn't long. So typically, you want to fly out to Eastern Europe. The best way to do it if you live in New York City or the East Coast. New York's the best way. You just fly straight 9-hour flight from New York to Istanbul, Turkey. Then from there, it's like a 2-hour flight from Istanbul to where I was, Odessa, Ukraine. So which is like one of their biggest beach towns. So I'm sure people have been seeing it in the news. It's currently being bombed and destroyed, unfortunately. But beforehand, I guess I'm one of the few Americans who ventured there beforehand. It's a beautiful beach town, very cheap. I ended up actually meeting someone who was a real estate agent, and she was telling me like good prime real estate, like top floor apartment for like $50,000 US. So like the prices there are crazy. Fun fact: a lot of people don't know this, but Ukraine is also really popular for cuisine. They have really great food there.
Hey, damn, that sounds delicious. Because my flight to the UK is about eight hours there, 9 hours back for some reason. So I know that plane ride was long as hell. Did you get lit on the plane? That's what I got to do to get through.
No, I basically just sleep. So I'm one of those people that, fun fact, I'm actually afraid of heights. So, I mean, I'm comfortable in planes because it's kind of closed in, but I typically just try to sleep through the flights. So, it's very hard on Turkish Airlines just because the Turkish families are very different. So specifically with kids, like kids are like crying, like most of the flight or just getting loud. So I typically have my noise canceling headphones in, but it's a great time. Every time I go to Eastern Europe or that area, it's always a great time. So
that sounds freaking amazing, bro. Hey, shout out to the international travelers. One thing I will say, like stop, like whoever's listening, if you haven't been out the country at all, like it changes your entire perspective on life, like interacting and being in different cultures, and then just seeing how things are different, and just from my experience being out, like people are more like, for example, if me and you were walking on the same sidewalk but going opposite ways, 9 times out of 10 here we wouldn't say anything to each other. Wouldn't notice each other from a glance, but it's not like a nothing. Versus like somewhere else, you actually speak, or even just like, hey, I hope you have a great day. Like, just we know we're walking past each other. Like, why are we making this awkward? We don't have to just make it awkward.
yeah, not to make this awkward. Exactly. And actually, when I first got to Medellin, it kind of took me a while. I kind of felt like I was being an a-hole here because people just kind of look, hey, and I'm just looking at them like, I don't even really know you, but like now I'm here, I'm kind of accustomed. I'm like, we're just naturally saying hello just because you're a person and they're recognizing divinity in you, honestly, which is great. As in, we all should be like that, but certain cultures and certain cities just don't operate that way, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But I like it better here because
Yeah.
it's cool to just meet people and like I wish my Spanish was better, but I noticed like going out with people that I've met, friends here, like even when we're jumping in like Ubers or taxis, like we'll spend the whole ride talking to the taxi driver. I'm like, I'm used to just either having my headphones on or sitting in silence.
Yeah,
So
that's cool as hell. I was having I've been like just starting just like complimenting people. Like whenever I'm out, like I was like, I just want to compliment a bunch of people today, like just on some just like good vibration shit. So it was like this one guy who was well dressed. I'm like, hey bro, I like your outfit. And just you look fly. Like I'm gonna compliment you. Or just like telling a random person who walked past, hey, hope you have a great day. And like seeing their reactions, like what? Like happy.
it's
Like
incredible.
it's like, damn, that meant like
Well,
it
my
feels,
grandma actually.
huh?
Yeah, my grandma actually kind of changed my viewpoint on things. So I was in Kansas actually, like maybe a month and a half ago before I got here, visiting my grandparents and my nephew. And we were at the store, and this lady was just blatantly being racist to us. And, like, I was just appalled because I'm in New York, so I wasn't really used to it. So I'm just like, I want to say something to this lady. My grandma just starts messing with her, like having fun, and then like the whole time I'm thinking like maybe you just need to say something, like maybe she just says to my grandma, I need to step up. And afterwards, my grandma was like, "Oh, you overreacted the whole situation," and I was like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" She was like, "I was just having fun with her. You probably didn't even notice. Like I was just messing with her just to mess with her, like because it doesn't really matter. She's gonna think what she wants to think. Like she shouldn't affect your reality." She's like, "I was having fun with her because why not? Like if that's what she's choosing to do, I can choose to have fun and like make the situation lighter." And like that whole little conversation just changed my whole outlook. So now like, I just brought that up to piggyback, like just comments or like anything in a positive nature and like other people's reality. Like you never know how it can like impact them in a
That's
positive way.
that's so true, man. Cause that's like somebody having a bad day, or they just probably not even, they're not used to being complimented, or maybe they just need it. Maybe you're that messenger in somebody's in reality that they need it. Like, oh damn, I was feeling low today, but that guy really, made my day. Like, you never fucking know. That's a
Yeah, and I think it's such a positive right now, especially with the way the world is going now. I think with the use and interconnectivity of technology, it's like definitely changed how we interact with each other. And sometimes, you're interacting with people all the time like, through text, but like you meet people face to face, and like you meet that person who just is still moving through life. Like, hey, like just interacting with regular people. A lot of people aren't used to that. They don't have that. So like to be that person that is creating that and also at the same time open their eyes and like you can still move through life in a way, like where you're still free and carefree. You don't need technology to do that.
That's so true, bro. So it's interesting you said that. So I've been really big on like self dates, just like taking myself out somewhere. So like last month, so now I'm doing a 2 massage a month thing where it's either gonna be like some cryotherapy or like a sauna, or the other one is like a regular like massage kind of thing. And then today I just woke up, it was like it's sunny, and I'm like, I don't want to be in the house all day. It's too nice. It's a Sunday. I'm gonna take myself out to lunch. I'm gonna just go grab a drink downtown and just go do whatever for a couple hours and just enjoying that solitude, like just spending time with like your inner child, spending time because I feel like I forgot that it's important to have a relationship with yourself as well. Take yourself out, treat yourself like, God damn it, this is your life. You're working all this shit. Do something.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why I left Wall Street. I think came straight here instead of staying in New York. I was like, I'm gonna come to Medellin. Like it had been a dream of mine to move here for about a year, and I was like, I'm probably not gonna be able to do the full year now, but I'd at least spend a couple months here, kind of building up to that. So I took full advantage of it. And I was like, you know what, like we all have dreams, but like the only way to really see your dream come true is like you put that action in. So like I guess I just made the jump. It's like, you know what, like this is me putting myself first. So.
Hey, you've always been big on just traveling, and it's at this point, bro. Where do you see yourself like settling down at? So is it the U.S.?
Well, that's a tough question for me, and I'm gonna be transparent. I don't fully have an answer yet. I still feel like there's so many different places. Like I always said, I wanted to be in Medellin for at least a year so I could pick up Spanish. I truly believe the city and the country itself, Colombia, is one of the best places to learn Spanish. And the people are really friendly here. And the vibe and the nature, it's easy to be around nature here. There's plenty of trees. Medellin high in the mountains. It's a country with multiple different climates. I like that, but at the same time, like I honestly am not sure if this is where I want to spend my life. Yeah. I mean, after being in Eastern Europe and witnessing how different the cultures and the landscape is there, and I haven't even been to Africa yet, which is something I really want to do as well. So I can't really answer that. But I mean, I feel like my journey kind of started just following my spirit. I feel like I became a traveler because it was something I was called to do. So.
Hey, I just thought about something. It'd be cool because like each country has like different bits that you enjoy. What if we could like, like how you enter a different room, it's like it's a whole different, setup. If it could be like that, like if we could have like the favorite part of each country, and then we can just like easily walk or just travel to that part. I'll fuck with that to be like my giant settled place.
Yeah, so two comments I have. So the first is the biggest quote that I kind of have is there's a guy, his name is Nomad Capitalism, kind of throw him free advertisement here. But he's got this quote, go where you're treated best. And I like that a lot. And basically also, yeah, go where you're treated best. And what I like about that is because he's kind of creating that mindset of like, go live where you feel like you're getting what you want out of life. Like in every single aspect, because there's a city somewhere in a country that will possess every single thing that you feel like you desire in your life, and it's out there for you. And I also resonate with that because I feel like cities have their own energy. Mm-hmm. Like the people create their energy for each city, and like, yeah, you may have a hard time dating somewhere. You may feel like people aren't really naturally gravitating to you. But I'm telling you, there's a city somewhere in a country somewhere where you don't have to work hard. You just go and it's naturally what you're looking for and naturally operating on the energy that you like. And you just have to be courageous enough to go out and find it.
Bro,
that's basically what I'm doing with my life.
Hey, you're an inspiration, man. You're an inspiration. I had so in the UK they have one thing I love about England in general is just like their holiday scene. So like it was Christmas, they have like these Christmas markets, and you always felt like when it's sunny out there, this feels like just feels like magic. Like that's the best way to describe it. Like it just feels like you're in some fairy mystical type of energy. And then when it's cloudy, which is like 70% of the time, you feel the vibrational difference. You feel the vibration difference. But I was having so it was a Christmas market, and I was chatting with this couple. They're a vendor. They were selling mulled wine. I don't know how to describe mulled wine. It's like a cinnamon type of wine. It's fucking delicious. But then you put brandy in it too. So you have like a cup of wine, you put a shot of brandy in it. That shit potent. But it's always
good.
It's fucking, bro. It's fucking, I used to get lit off them things. It'd be like you can walk around a drink. So you have like a little cup of wine, like a little shot or two, bro. Goddamn. But it's just like stuff you would see on TV, like these like when you think of Christmas, not like when I think of Christmas, I think of like England Christmas. I don't think of like American Christmas. Like I want like the booths and the pop-up shops and the little knickknacks and shit like that. So I was just having a conversation with a couple, and they was like, "Oh, we don't like it here." And I was like, "Well, I think it's cool. Like y'all a lot more friendly than the U.S. Like, in fact, we can have this conversation right now, and kind of cool." But like, I encourage everybody to travel, man. It's you will want to like once you I was having this conversation with one of my guys at the bar the other day, and he wants to travel, and then we all make excuses, right? So I said, bro, first step, the way that you got to convince yourself, first you have to buy a passport. Once you buy a passport, that's it, because now you feel obligated to go because you spent this much money. Now you gotta go.
Yeah, man. I mean, to my second point that I hadn't really had an opportunity to get to, which is perfect to get to now, is also to encourage people is like prices where you are may be getting more expensive, but you don't have to stay and live that and endure that. It's only there because you haven't really opened your mind to the idea that there's a concept called geo-arbitration, which is basically going where you basically can get the same lifestyle for a lot cheaper. And I encourage everybody to consider that. I mean, I worked on Wall Street, so numbers and understanding the world of finance is something that I kind of understand better than most people.
Nice.
So traveling and recognizing that I could go different places, like right now, New York is probably at the 9% inflation most people are experiencing in the U.S. Here in Medellin, I'd say maybe it's 2% inflation. And it's also a lot cheaper. It's 4,000 pesos equals about $1 US. So if you add that 2% of inflation, still a lot cheaper than New York City.
God damn. I'll be stacking up. I'll be stacking. Hey, that's why I appreciate remote, like just being able to remote work, bro. Like that was the best thing that could have happened. Like, cause you can literally, like even like, hey, Rich, I can't afford to go out for a long time. Even if you can save up for a week to get an Airbnb, just go out somewhere for a week, just work, and then just travel around. You can do it. I was working, my hours was 2:30 to 11:30 when I was working in the UK, but the mornings and the afternoons, man.
Yeah, remote work is changing the game. I think the way the world is going to move is going to be, it's going to be more a contract.
Yep.
Because of like, we have this freedom now where we can work anywhere we want as long as we've got Wi-Fi connection and an opportunity here. In this case, just a contract to do work, or if you got your own business, how many great clients can you acquire? Basically, the internet's changing the way you work. Like, I know plenty of people who live in Mexico or even in Bali, Indonesia, who are making thousands of dollars in the U.S., but they live over there. So, I mean, their savings rate exponential because their currency that they're spending in locally is a lot cheaper.
Damn, that's cool as hell. That's cool as hell. I appreciate, because yeah, remote work is where it's at, bro. Well, I had one of your tweets stood out to me recently. You was talking about like being aligned with your purpose. Like, what does that look like for you at this stage? Because every time we talk, of course, we're in different spaces with what we want. But I'm curious because you just like your energy. You seem so much freer. Like you just like your energy is just it's like 10 times lighter. So I'm curious, like what that tweet made me think about that.
Yeah, that's interesting that you noticed that. I think, you know, we put a lot of work in on our energy and trying to work towards different things, and sometimes you don't always see the changes. So for you to say that is quite interesting. Because to be honest with you, I thought I've kind of been in a flux the last month energetically. So to kind of hear that's very intriguing. But I guess for me, it's been a flux because I just think that I'm getting adjusted to being here in Colombia, as well as me recognizing that, wow, I'm not working the 80 hours a week that I was working.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do with my time? And also just getting rid of the misconception that just because I'm not working doesn't mean that I'm not being productive.
Man,
You know,
can we talk about that too? I feel like
American,
it's important. That can we talk about that?
Yeah, so I quickly try to answer this as best as I can, but I think right now my purpose is really just being comfortable with life. I think for the longest time I've pursued this, I need to have $1 million. I need to be wealthy. I need to work over 100 hours a week because that's what successful people do. But really success is just waking up and just staying positive and keeping your energy pure. That's really success. Like everything else is just going to happen. I mean, we try so hard to protect ourselves from bad things happening, etc. But the reality is that's just a part of life. And the reality is, like, really, you're just supposed to learn how to just be peaceful in the moment. I think my purpose now is getting to a place where, one, I'm aligning with that fully, and two, helping others become their best self. You know, I think selling a lifestyle is great, but the real value comes from teaching people how to choose themselves and like what they want out of life. And yeah, there are a bunch of things and obstacles in your way right now, but you can get the life you want. And I think a lot of people say it takes hard work. I think the hardest work is internally. And I'll tell people, when you start recognizing the hard work is all internal, everything else that seems hard work that's outside of yourself, it can be easily moved.
Dropping bombs right now, bro. Dropping gems.
Yeah. So I think the second thing I'm really passionate about is I migrated. So I know for a long time I was known and obviously introduced myself to the world as a playboy. I think that it's still a part of me, but now I'm kind of changing in certain aspects where now I'm trying to, I think more than ever, men and women's relationships are wild. And there's a lot of misconceptions out there about how people should date and how people should be with a man or with a woman or someone from a different sex. I think it's creating a lot of misconceptions out there. And I think part of what I really want to do, and part of the reason why I'm writing my novel Unconditional, is I'm really trying to create this space and helping people become recentered on remembering that relationships are also very energetically centered. And like, it's purity. The best relationships are purity at its best. Like, there's got to be problems, but when you guys recenter on that purity, that's really important. So I'm trying to really make sure that my authorship and my work as a writer is focused on that. So
I think it's interesting
a lot, and I think that's effort.
It's interesting because you having a different perspective being in different places. So it's not just like let's just say a New York based love, viewpoint. Like that's fascinating. That's fascinating. So you mentioned something, bro, that I found myself struggling with earlier on, but now I just like whatever. Always feeling like you have to be doing something or feeling guilty when you're not working, quote unquote. Like, for example, let's say you worked 80 hours a week, right? And it's a Sunday. And shit, you should want to just chill all day and relax. But the back of your mind's like, I need to be doing something. I feel guilty for just resting. Like, no, like you're supposed to rest. Like we're supposed to work smart, not hard. We're supposed to be in alignment with whatever that we're doing. And when we're able to think that way, like if this is like lay on the couch, smoke some weed, watch TV all day if you want to. Who fucking cares? As long as you handle your shit, take care of your business, and you're not a slouch. Or if you just want to lay in bed all day, do it. Like just let yourself rest and just be like You don't have to always be doing something.
Yeah, I think it's been very interesting. So since we're on the topic of like marijuana, etc., I kind of tell people what my life is like. So typically, you hear Wall Street kids that are either on Adderall or they're doing coke. I wasn't doing anything like that. I was smoking a ton of weed, primarily sativa-based hybrids, because those type of weeds keep you vibrant mentally, creatively. And I also was taking modafinil, which is, for a lot of people who are unfamiliar with it, the movie Limitless is based off of that pill. It's a pill that they've given to a lot of interesting people. Joe Rogan has talked about it. So I was doing a half of modafinil, smoking sativa every morning, and then in the evenings I was actually drinking psilocybin tea that I was making. So doing all three of those to just continually work the 80 hours, which is great, but like I'm living a whole different lifestyle here where I'm not really doing anything. And like it's been wild. Like for one, I've noticed that I couldn't dream before. At least I couldn't remember my dreams. Like since I've been here, like I've actually been dreaming. I find it so interesting, which is crazy because I honestly haven't really been doing much of anything. I'm just kind of living here. But not to say that any of it was bad. I was being very strategic with it, and I was monitoring my body and making sure that I was taking the doses that were great for my body and being really strategic about everything. But it's now that I'm off of everything at the same time, it's been kind of different to see how my energy and my body's been moving.
Hey, bro, I was talking about this with Lonnie this past episode. We were talking about weed and
Lonnie, I am that.
yeah, living his best life, bro. I was making fun of him because I forget how young his ass is. So I was like, damn, bro, you the baby of the family. But we was talking because when I was at a certain point when I was over there, I didn't have I didn't have a plug. So I didn't smoke for about 2.5 months. And then my dreams were vivid as hell. I could remember point A to point Z of the entire thing that happened. And I've never had that. Like you'll remember certain parts of the dream, but I've never been able to I could tell you the whole story of what happened in the entire dream. And I've never had that experience. And it made me think like, damn, like weed is don't know how, but it's like blocking ourselves from remembering. But as soon as you stop smoking, shit, it's a whole. It's literally right now, remote viewing, walking around, it just feels real.
Yeah, that's basically been the same for me. And I don't know how many people have seen the new Doctor Strange. I won't ruin the premise of the movie, but part of it is now I'm like wondering, like, dang, maybe some of that is true, and maybe that's what actually is occurring as far from a interdimensional travel point of view.
I was thinking that, bro, because they called it I think he called it the dreamland. But it's like, because it make some dreams, I'm not not all the time, but it might be like 10%. It might be like some random something I'm observing. I don't know what the hell it is. But other times it's like just me doing whatever the case may be. But that movie really made me think like, damn, that could be fucking true. Because we're just entering
There's a lot of gems in movies these days. So, and I like Doctor Strange. He's always been my favorite character because of one, his understanding of the metaphysical. And as a student, I think that they reveal so much. I try to do research, figure out what's fiction and what's actually fact. Because they do mix a lot of facts into those films. So
they be dropping a lot of gems, especially that Black Widow movie. They told a lot about the MK Ultra and mind programs, and that went over a lot of people's heads. Like they literally tell you how they doing shit, literally, fucking literally.
Yeah, and I mean it's easy. People think that it's one thing that has been very interesting is me. Like I got the COVID shot, both COVID shots. I didn't get the booster or anything. I haven't had COVID at all. And I really haven't felt a lot of side effects from the COVID vaccine, but that's because I've kind of programmed my mind to not feel those things.
Aaron was
which is
because Aaron
a life hack, which is yeah. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron was talking about the same because I don't have it. I didn't take it personally, but I love and I love like, I don't care what a person does, but I find it interesting with you and Aaron is how you programmed and how you looked at it, so where it didn't. And that's where I want to highlight for people who are listening, because I don't care what anyone does. I just want to make sure, like, I have listeners who on both sides. I just want to help whoever. But talk to us, because I've talked to us about Aaron too, and I find it very interesting because you're just programming. It's no different. You're just programming it to not do a certain thing. What was your like your vibrational thought process when you was going through that? Like, I'm getting this is going to protect me from COVID. That's it. I'm not going to get any side effects. I'm going to keep living my best life.
Yeah. So I mean, I started with I guess let's be honest. Like when I first started, I was like everyone else, kind of nervous, but at the same time too, it was nervous more so due to the uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of time passed. I was kind of like, you know what, like I can either be scared or I can just try to use this time to reprogram my mind to get to where I really wanted to be. And part of that was focusing on health.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically the type of thoughts that I was having was just like, yeah, COVID exists, but like my vibration is higher, so it won't affect me. I'm on a higher vibration. My vibration is health. Because of health, like despite it being here, like it won't reach me because I'm on a healthy vibration.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's not saying that it's not existing. Of course, I'm full aware it does exist. There's plenty of people who've died. I can't deny that. But what I can do is I can control how my mind operates. And sickness is just a low vibration, honestly. And sometimes you can create sickness in yourself by over worrying about getting sick. You're now creating that desire for the body to say, okay, you're pretty much telling me to get sick. So just being intentional about the thoughts and just recognizing that, yes, it does exist, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to get it because I'm operating at a higher vibration. Just being intentional about that. And I'm also just aware that a lot of people don't know this, but you can actually create like physical, spiritual, like defensive systems around your body.
Yeah.
With thoughts. And so being intentional about that, and I've had plenty of time to practice. Like I've been able to kind of make myself invisible in certain situations, etc. Yeah, this is really complex, advanced stuff for a lot of listeners, but it's really doable stuff. So like I've been in situations where people are like, "Oh, don't go to that place. It's very dangerous." And I go and the locals treat me like I'm one of them. Yeah. People are like, "How'd you come back from that?" And I was like,
my vibration.
I didn't experience any racism, nothing crazy. Like you treated me normal.
That's so fucking real. So that's so cool. So guys, I hope you grasping what he's saying. So if you're adopting like the narrative of the vaccine, is however what it is from the media agenda standpoint, and also just I guess how things are designed. But when you remember that you're the creator, right? You create your reality, so you can program things to go to your liking. You can manipulate a lot of situations. I had COVID when I was in the UK. I was it's funny as fuck. I had caught it the day before I was supposed to fly back to the States. I was so super fucking pissed. But I just surrendered and just like, okay, I'm supposed to be here. And then during it, I was just talking to my body. I was like programming, like, COVID, this is mine. You get out of me. You're not welcome here. And I'm just thanking my body for like, fighting it and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, damn, like, and then I only had it like serious for like 3 days, but just during that time, just like programming my body to like get it out of me and just like noticing like each day I'm getting better and better. I'm like, damn, this is cool. But you can literally you can program the water. Like if you have a water bottle, you want to like program into like whatever you want to do. Like we forget this. Like you can manipulate your situations.
Definitely. And like one of the things I've been doing recently is like intentionally fasting, like maybe foregoing a meal. Like typically for me, breakfast is easiest. I think you first wake up, your body is at its highest point energetically. So not eating during that time period and just kind of moving through and just spending time with myself early in the morning. Really intentional. And just helps with creating that energy. So I'm at that place. I think it's also important for me too, because sometimes I'm in a extremely playboy mood. So I think the high sexual energy usage is important to try to regain and recoup some of that energy. Yeah. So trying to be intentional.
That's so real. So sometimes because I'll have a protein shake in the morning, but most times, like for this morning, for example, I haven't eaten yet, and it's already like 11:41. And my first meal is when I go out, when I go take myself out to lunch, that'll be my first meal. But I'll definitely drink water in between. So bro, funny story. So you mentioned Adderall earlier. Well, I hope I can say this. I don't give a fuck. Last time I took Adderall was in college. Typical college shit. But I work in sales now. So I redid it, and I was like, I don't like this feeling no more. Fuck that. I had stayed up. I had took it, and I was up to like 4:00. I was like, this is why I stopped taking this, because I forgot. Like, I hated this part. I hate not being able to fall asleep. That's the worst thing. Like, you just lay in there and you're trying to force yourself. I hate that feeling. It's like, this is why I don't take this shit no more.
Yeah, it's kind of the same with Moda. I'd be that if I didn't take it early enough, or if I did and I ate certain foods, it would keep me awake. And also I noticed like there'd be moments where I could sneak and take a nap, but I'd wake up and then it'd kick in again. I'd be like, well, okay.
Yeah.
So it just had to be really strategic about using it. But honestly, in those moments where I couldn't fall asleep, I would just do intentional meditation. Which would really help. So like I'm just laying there. Like I might as well be intentional. So I would just do meditation. Like there'd be times where I'm in my body and or my body's just laying there and I'm out. I'm astral projecting somewhere. So just try to be intentional. This is the constriction. There's the way to use it for good. Just figuring out the best way to do it. So, which I wasn't always this way. I don't do it this is small steps, small challenges. I think you really strengthen your metaphysical gifts, because they really are gifts. You strengthen them more as little tests. Test the faith, really, is the slogan. Neville Goddard actually is
love Neville Goddard.
Pastor. I like Neville a lot because I like his interpretation of the Bible. I think a lot of us see it very historical, where he applies a metaphysical lens to the Bible, and so it's really more an instruction manual for how to manage your mind and your spirit. And looking at the Bible through that lens is really important. And I think it honestly has also helped me really understand how much more crucial Jesus Christ was as a person, and just how he moved, and because he tested the faith all the time.
Man, shout out to Neville Goddard. I love him. Did you read The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph?
Yeah, it's a great book.
That's another one of my Bibles. I haven't finished Outwitting the Devil, but I've recently.
I like that book, Napoleon Hill. I love that book.
I didn't finish it, and I've been called. I was watching something last week, and like when I'm not doing something I'm supposed to do, like I'll get a message and I know it's for me because it stings, and like I know it's directly for me. And then that book popped in my mind right after. And I'm like, okay, damn. So I'm supposed to finish this book. So now I say this out loud, I'm gonna bring that book with me so I can just like chill in the park and read that and do that. But that, to me, that, even though I didn't finish it, that was his best book. It's just so impactful.
So many tools, like whether or not the devil, his book is real or fictional or a fragment of his imagination, it's still extremely powerful because of just the dialogue and like the messaging and the traps, and basically even he at the point where he has the devil teaching you how to beat him. Yeah. I think it's very interesting.
So I guess it's like integrating with your shadow side too, and being one with it. Damn. Hey, shout out to Napoleon, man. It's interesting. I think it's cool though, because we read these books, right? And then I feel like we have a responsibility to give back and like create our own like stuff for those who come after us to read, to just help assist them in their journey. That's powerful, man. That's freaking powerful.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like you recognize that, like, yeah, life is about accumulating what you want from a dream standpoint, but at the same point, like we're just as responsible for ensuring that like the people around us experience something positive in their life and feel like, you know, someone's encouraging them to do what they want to do, as long as it's positive in nature, of course. So, but at the same time too, it also teaches you to respect the negative people, the people who gravitated to the dark side of things, because it teaches you that duality is necessary. And a sense, from this body it is, because in actuality, the universe actually doesn't really believe in duality. Like the more you grow spiritually, the more you recognize that like duality is just a function of this human body. In reality, everything's one.
Everything is one. Bro, so it's been a great chunk since you last was on, but I asked this last question to my guest. What would your message be to humanity during this time?
Yeah, that was great because I was actually thinking about it before I even spoke previously. But my message would be deny the senses. And what I mean by that, denying the senses is no matter what's happening, no matter what you smell, taste, sense, you know, whatever the five senses are teaching you, learn to deny them. Like, yeah, your reality may be what you can sense, but in actuality, like, your mind can warp reality to be whatever you actually are desiring. You just have to be intentional enough to do that. That's why meditation is so important, because it strengthens your ability to deny your senses. So that would be my message. Learn to deny the senses.
Bars, brother, bars. Bro, thank you so much for being on this podcast, man. It's I love like having, you know, my friends back on, because it's interesting just like seeing how, you know, you guys elevate and how your energy is different. It's how you're doing much better in your life. So it's pretty cool. So I just want to give you your flowers and tell you, like, I'm proud of you, bro. Like, you've inspired me with travel. I don't think I've told you this, and just like being like just a man of integrity, bro, and just a man of just adopting and just holding no excuses, but at the same time, just living his best life. So I appreciate you, brother. I'm just giving you your flowers.
Appreciate you, man. From being on here to episode 4 and now being episode 110 for you, the consistency and the growth and the belief and what your vision was, man, that's great. It's great to see. I'm proud of you as well, bro.
Much love, man. Much love. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed it a lot. This is a bonus episode, so not sure when I'm dropping this shit. Whenever you listen, it will be done this week after our fresh episode. So I love you guys. Keep being awesome. Remember that, you know, you're the creator. Don't adopt what others tell you to believe is true. You figure out what true looks like for you and make sure that it feels good. If it feels good, then that means it's right for you. And just give my challenge to you this week. If you're listening to this, is every day for the next week, just give 3 people a compliment. Just give 3 people a compliment, because you never know, somebody may need it. Like if you're feeling good, share that with somebody. Even if you're not feeling good, just make somebody else's day. Like just do 3 acts of service. Because I feel like we take for granted the things people do for us. Like somebody noticing you drop something and hey sir, you dropped this. Like that's an act of service. They could have easily just let you, or look the other way. No, they said, hey. So let's give back, man. Let's give back. Yeah, love you guys. Peace.